So I recorded some openings outside of Paramount on Warring Ave, which since the Ellisons got the studio, they don't quite fit anymore. But I'm still gonna drop the one that I did for Jim Krueger in after this. But my brother Jim Krueger, my brother Danny Hamilton, Danny manager of Young Dirty Bastard, connected to the Wu-Tang Clan, and Jim Krueger. I mean, Jim's a legend. Just got honored at Comic-Con. There's a podcast with him as well. Jim Krueger is my head creative visionary partner for what I want to do to reboot They Live, because he brings the video game ideas, the comic ideas, the script ideas, and that man can direct him damn self. And the final film, I know I've retired on Cutthroat City, but I am going to get his directorial debut fully funded. It's called Head, and we'd like to make it in partnership with Seth Rogen at Point Grey. Seth, I know you're a Jim Krueger fan. Call us. My manager, Joey Stanton's going to be calling your office literally before the first. Peace. So I've got to make some intro videos for all the Zoom calls that the world's about to watch. So I'm going to do them from right here. First up, I would like to introduce the future heads of Paramount Pictures / Big Picture World Group / Lucille Studios / Love Street Studios and Hotel Groups. Heads of Publishing, Jim Krueger, who you'll see on this Zoom call, along with my former partner in music and managing YDB. He reps him solo now, and also for film and TV, because Clevenger's a rap as it relates to that. Danny Hamilton, who you will see a great Zoom call with Jim Krueger, who's about to be honored at Comic-Con with, well, a very special award. That's up next on the Zoom. This is the intro for it. Mr. Jim Krueger.
How's it going?
Good. Can you get on video?
Oh, yeah, hold on.
All good.
Okay, there it should be.
There he is. Hello, sir.
All right.
It's good to see your gorgeous face again.
Excellent, thanks.
But Danny Hamilton needs about 5 minutes, but that's perfect. So I can talk and let you know what's going on. I went off and did this whole insane adventure to try to buy Paramount because Lee Kaplan owns the trademark on Pulp Fiction. And when I saw that Tarantino wanted to take his legacy and create a series of memes and NFTs, I don't know, a little over a year and change ago, he had to actually sue and battle Paramount to take his legacy and make art off of it. So that annoyed me greatly. And because my relationship directly connected to RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan and the art that we made together in Cutthroat City, and him being a creative partner of Mr. Tarantino on Kill Bill, doing the music on part 1 and 2, I thought with the ecosystem that I had in front of me, and if I could have a meeting with Lee Kaplan, that I could get enough juice behind all of that. Monster juice is something I love. I've been drinking a lot. I'm talking a lot, Jim. I thought I could get enough, basically, juice in it. What did you say?
Completely frozen. I can still hear you, but you completely froze.
That's okay. If the audio's there, it's fine. So
Yeah, okay.
here, I'll even turn off my video because this isn't about me. It's about the big picture. So basically, you could shut your video off too, Jim. It's okay. You don't have to stay on if you don't want to.
No, I don't care. It's all good.
So basically, I thought if I could get enough juice and collective energy, because strength in numbers, man, like Wu-Tang, bumblebees, stinging and making things happen, that I could not only lead forward an ownership group to defeat Skydance, to own Paramount, and really have the artists oversee it and redo the board structure. And yes, have CEOs, but multiple ends for multiple forms of art and craft. And so basically, since we own the trademark on Pulp Fiction, and the main writer of developing that into an anthology series is the writer of Cutthroat City, Paul Cuscieri, who is one of the strongest men of Catholic faith that I know, which I'm converting to, that I could go off and I could put Pulp Fiction together as a series, but not just any series. a series that's treated like each one's a movie, but they debut at drive-in theaters before they then go to a streaming platform. Because Mr. Tarantino is all about the theatrical experience, and I know how much he loves theaters, and I'm sure he loves drive-ins. So I have acquired, in partnership with John Watsky, the owner of it, the Ocala Drive-In Theater in my hometown, where the lead actor of Pulp Fiction lives, in John Travolta, my childhood home where I grew all these dreams of making movies, and starting at the now being rebranded for our streaming platform, Lucelle Ocala Drive-In Theater. That's going to be the debut of episode 1 of Pulp Fiction, the anthology series, a series that you're also going to write and direct an episode for. You
Super
see, this
fun.
is going to be like Grindhouse Cinema, but it's going to debut at drive-ins. And we don't have a limited run on a first season because the home that they're going to be hosted on that controls the IP. And I'm even going to, maybe if Paramount doesn't give us the IP, then I'm going to see Paramount in court. And if we have to go to court, then quite frankly, everything that they colluded, their board amongst others, to prevent Project Rise partners from getting on Paramount is going to be made public, and we're going to let a judge decide it. Because I have tremendous lawyers that would happily be part of something that big. And I look forward to everybody finally being heard. If me creating They Live in Real Life doesn't do it itself. I have a Zoom tomorrow with Larry Franco, the sole producer of that IP, controlled arguably by Universal, but also Sony, specifically TriStar in the early 90s, and Sony doesn't even know it. That Universal has spent 20 years practically developing a remake of. There's not a remake because I turned They Live into real life, and we've all lived that movie. So that live stream broadcast, which this video is part of, will be playing in a 24/7 loop, and it showcases the birth of Big Picture World Group and the pursuit of Paramount. And
I
that
no,
is what I did.
oh,
I'm going to shut up now, but you're the head of everything in graphic novels and comics as it relates to Big Picture. And Lee is a tremendous publisher. And I want to do, connected to each episode of Pulp Fiction, a graphic novel for each one as well that you would oversee with the other teams that we've been talking about for these graphic novel ideas that I've had and been discussing with you.
yeah, super cool. I mean, even if you don't do like a graphic novel per se for each episode, depending on how often you're putting out these episodes, you could do, an ash can, which, Marvel used to do these little black and white editions that would have 10, 12 pages of story in them. And
That's
then you collect all of them together at the end of the season as, as your graphic novel. Like otherwise you're spending so much money just to
Dude,
produce all those graphic novels when maybe there's a way
that's
to do a collectible that's interesting and small.
that is awesome. And you could release each one with each episode and time those out. And
Yeah,
then by the
yeah.
end, the graphic novels are a continuation of each story, but make up this whole universe. Oh, that's really
No.
cool.
Yeah, and you collect all the little 12-page stories as one book.
That's epic, Jim. Will you talk about real quick who you are and your background for those that don't know, and what you've been working on that we're going to make under this ecosystem?
Yeah, I'm Jim Krueger. I'm a New York Best Times selling author, winner of an Eisner Award, which is kind of like the Oscars of the comic book industry. I'm famed for my work with certain artists like Alex Ross and Bill Sienkiewicz. I have had a long and like both behind the scenes career and in front of the scenes career. My project EarthX is probably the thing that made me in the industry, and it's been used for now 6, 7, maybe 8 different things related to the MCU. And shows up in the movies and the TV shows and all that stuff over and over again. Right now, I'm working on a series of prose and manga projects for Steve Aoki, the DJ and his Hero Quest collectible card games and all that sort of thing. I'm constantly creating. I've sold a number of shows in Hollywood, and I'm just always building and writing things. This summer, what's really exciting is I'm even a guest of honor at Comic-Con, and we'll be starting a 3-book series on Peter Pan and all the stuff under Peter Pan and above Peter Pan and all the stories that are related to all of it.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that. That's the first time hearing of that. Congratulations on that, Jim. I got to make sure I'm at that Comic-Con. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Talk about Head a little bit, and for those that don't know, and your intentions behind that, which you're going to direct.
Hey, I'm gonna shut off the video just for a second and go to a different room, okay?
Sure.
And then I'll start. Sorry.
No worries. Not at all. Jim Krueger, ladies and gentlemen, for those that watch this, amongst many other talented individuals that came together to do all of this. Bunch of ninjas in real life and in the creative waters. Some legend in Hamilton.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, perfect timing. Danny joined us, but Danny, I'm gonna introduce you in 1 second to the world that sees this. Jim, continue with because actually YDB, who Danny represents in music, and he's his business partner from the Wu-Tang Clan. And I've been assisting Young Dirty in film and TV. This is your film, something I would want you to consider him being part of. So let us know about what you've been working on as it relates to your IP Head.
Oh, well, Head is a feature I wrote. It's a supernatural thriller. I've directed a number of things, including this old short film called They Might Be Dragons that they still show at NYU, saying this is how good a short film can be in this program. But Head is a supernatural thriller set in New Orleans. It's about a guy who gets his head chopped off in a voodoo ritual, and the only way he's able to see, and the only way he's able to hear is by wearing other people's heads. It's funny, it's thoughtful, it's crazy, and it'll be a
It,
full.
that's really kind of a take on real life too, because since everyone is really a mirror of each other, right? And we're all kind of given the same gifts when we get created, but people have to experience and tap into those. I love the paradox of that, of him putting on somebody else's head, which I feel like I've had to do at times, and walking forward into whatever's in front of him. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's other people's shoes, it's seeing the world from different perspectives. It's all of that while being really fun. I was just going through different things last night, and I was looking at all the stuff that you can stream and watch in the horror category, and I'm like, man, none of this stuff is fun.
I know. That's why I'm making a horror movie.
None of it is fun. None of it is anything that makes me go, oh, I can't wait to see it, let alone I can't wait to see it again.
Yep. There's something that Danny, Mr. Hamilton, will you get on camera so I can introduce you?
Yeah, I'm just not getting together because I got a bug going. Hold on a second. I got the COVID. How y'all
There
doing?
he is. Hello, Mr.
Peace.
Danny Hamilton. This is
Peace. How
Jim
y'all doing?
Krueger.
How you
We're
doing, Mr. Jim
amazing.
Krueger?
How
How
are you,
you
Danny?
doing?
I want you to talk about, first introduce yourself, who you are, how we met, so the world can hear it, because I talk about it a lot. And then talk about water, because that's something, you know how Adam's been talking about bringing in somebody to help guide a room and other stuff. Mr. Krueger, who knows the world of horror very well, and is also somebody who finally, as it relates to both Goat Style, the graphic novels we've talked about with Dirty, let the world know who you are, let Jim know, and what we've been cooking for damn near the last 2.5 years, almost.
Oh, I'm Danny Hamilton. I'm the manager and I'm a business partner for YDB, the son of ODB from the Wu-Tang Clan legacy. Um, Will, I mean, Will's my guy. I met Will a while ago, man. I mean, Will, we was putting together this concept with YDB, and the first person came to mind, YDB's mind was Will. He's like, man, we need to work with Will. So I reached out to Will, and him and Sydney at that time reached right back out, and then we connected, and sure, after that we became family, and then to bring it all together, we was in LA because we was going out there to talk with the guys for, I think we was out there for the Zeus Network guys, was talking with them about something that we was trying to
Oh,
do in the world.
created by King Batch, who was at our Project Rise dinner. Keep going.
So we was actually out there for that to go talk to them about something we had in the reality space because a mutual friend wanted us to go talk with them and sit down with them. And then what we did was we reached out to Will and say, hey, we in town, man. Let's link up. Let's go sit down and have a real conversation. And then that's me and Will. We met each other in person for the first time, and that was it, man. That's all it took for us to become solidified
And
and family forever.
what movie did we connect over when we met in person that both you and Young Dirty is one of your favorite films?
They live. They live. Let's go.
Ah,
Let's go.
I love it.
So Will's been very important, to everything we're doing. He's been helping us bring a lot of things together. He put us with some amazing people that actually helped us, start putting together the new IP. We have Water, which is going to be a classic. Of course, we have the Goat Style. And, you talked about horror, you know, secretly being the shadows, we actually wrote a horror film that not many people know about that we worked on with two amazing twin directors, the Soka twins.
Oh,
I
I
think it's
know the
Soka and Sasha.
Sokas. Yeah,
The
man.
Soka, yes, there you go. They did American Mary. So we
Yeah.
actually so we actually wrote a film together, a horror film that we actually trying to get off the ground ourselves called The Brothel. And I think that's something that you guys definitely should be taking a look at it with us
Oh,
as
we
well,
gotta
because
talk about that. Will you
that's
talk?
that's crazy.
Sorry.
I was gonna
Focus
say
in
that's
on
crazy.
water. Let Jim
So
know what
water,
water's about.
water is one of those things that came to mind when me and YDB was just talking about how in this world we live in, water is important for everything, right? You can't live without water. So we started thinking of many ways, we obviously started thinking about the pandemics, and we started thinking about, well, the next problem may be, something that happens with water. So we started putting together, different ideas about how water, the supply of water, what happens if water was contaminated, and which it is in certain countries. And then we came to the realization that, you know, this water IP that we have is really the next thing when it comes to what can happen in the world that can make everyone at the same time have an issue, which is water, because water is all connected. It's not, it's no recyclable water really. We say that, but at the end of the day, it's still the same water. And I think that's kind of how we started putting the pieces together, along with good friend Adam, Adam Stone as well. And I think now we have something that is going to be really, really great for the world to see.
That's what I want to. I'm going to connect. You guys are already on an email, I believe. If not, I'll connect you and Jim. But I want you to send that pilot over to Jim, and
Sure.
then we'll get him and Adam, if that's okay, Mr. Krueger, on a call together. Once
Yeah,
you
no,
get in,
that
because
sounds cool. I love where Danny's head is at on this, because I think you're absolutely right. I know that now they say that because of stuff that's been dumped into the ocean, that every fish has some plastic in its DNA.
Hmm.
That we're eating that, you
Yeah.
know,
it just
and
recycles itself over and over.
and when we think about even rain coming down and stuff like that and I'm not this giant environmentalist, but I pay attention, you know, the rain now goes through a filter that we've helped put together. So it's really interesting whether mankind is going to be able to solve some of the contamination it's done to its ecosystem, you know. And I believe
Yeah.
so. I believe we will, but I love this idea, and it's definitely a cautionary tale. and it's got all the right beats of sci-fi and all of that.
Yeah, I think, you know, when we think about that, we think about how we all share the same water. You know, when we in the ocean together, and we go in a pool. You know, we all around the same water. It doesn't change, and you know, we try our best. You know, to filter, you know, or filtrate the water. But at the end of the day, you know, some things that man has done to water can't be undone. You know, so it's just one of those things that I think this water IP is gonna, you know, make people really realize that, you know, we have to be kind to the world, you know, at the end of the day, because it comes back to
Yeah.
collect.
And there's even kind of funny things to say, like get an eye full of water, get an ear full of water, you know, are you get your mind full of water, you know, and just playing off those ideas of different ways to think and experience water through you know, your good idea.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a good, you know, good thing for our idea, you know, because it took a team to get to, you know, where we at with this, you know, project. You know, like I said, it started off with me and YDB just thinking about, you know, man, like this has got to be the next situation in the world is really water, you know, because we've been attacked from all ways, and water is something that we can't live without, you know, at the end of the day, and that's just how everything kind of came together. And then of course Will, you know, put the team together around us, you know, as well. And we have an amazing writer, you know, I brought on board as well, Eric Enigma, you know what I mean? And he started putting the writings together with us as well, and Adam, and it's all coming together. So we definitely would be honored to have you, you know, be a part of that as well, and take a look at it and see what your thoughts is about it. But it's definitely coming together.
Yeah, super cool.
And then Jim, that could be something you could direct episodes on as well. You know, the whole intent with this was for it to be hosted on our platform, which Danny's helped me build. YDB's been helping me build. Everybody's been bringing me IP. Big Picture Collective as a whole. And see, Big Picture Collective doesn't own the IP. The people that created Big Picture Collective own it. So everybody keeps their own IP until it gets funded in a fund that we've set up as a nonprofit. So basically, we've got at this point over probably between 200 and 300 projects, to be completely
Unbelievable.
honest, all from A-list creators from all over the world. And if you'll spend some time, Danny, because Jim, the next thing is something we wanted to do, a combination of an immersive experience in AR and VR, but also as a series. And oddly enough, it fights corporations. Danny, will you talk about Goat Style, the history behind it, and the intentions that you and Barson have had with that?
Yeah, well, Ghost Style, you know, is unique because Ghost Style is basically YDB's life. You know, he's talking about his, you know, his father's legacy, and how, you know, he's around all these goats with Wu Tang, you know, and each goat has his own style, you know. So
Yeah.
him picking up different styles from each goat, each legend, you know, allow for us to kind of create the material for Goat Style. You know, his father obviously giving him, you know, a style that he has to protect, you know, because he's no longer with us. So he's got to protect his legacy from antagonists who trying to bring down his legacy. And you know, it's an action thriller. You know, it's going to be some ass kicking in it as well. And
I would
it's
hope
real.
so.
It's really going to be a classic tale.
There's a lot of asses that need to be kicked.
Most definitely. And I think that's what Ghost Style is about. You know, protecting and kicking ass.
Well, that's good. I've been thinking, I mean, when I think of even that word ghost, and this relates to a different horror thing that I've gotten development, in the sense that I've only broken it down. I haven't written the script yet for it. I've been thinking a lot of why aren't we haunted by things we should be haunted by?
Well, not ghost, goat.
Oh, goat.
Yes,
Oh,
the greatest of all time, goat.
got it. Got it. Well, you made me think about Ghost, and there's a haunting there too.
I like it. Oh, you know what? I overheard you talking about we'll talk about that after, but I overheard the New Orleans. When I hear the New Orleans word, I'm like, oh, you know, Will, has a a relationship with New Orleans as well, and that's dear and near as well to me, Will, as well, and the New Orleans roots, because I'm from New Orleans, so you know
Wow, so cool.
yeah, so we have a full circle there, but no, it's GOAT, the GOAT style. So him trying to protect his father's style and of course the legacy of his Wu-Tang family styles from these antagonists that's trying to take it, so him having to keep that legacy alive. And it's a lot of, corporate greed, that's, just trying to take that away from him and not give him the opportunity to keep that legacy going. So that's
Yeah,
what GOAT style is.
for sure. We spend our whole lives trying to build something, and then someone else just wants to take it away
That's
in a day
exactly what
or a
that's
week.
exactly what it is.
You know, no one gets legacy. No one gets the building of a lifetime into something.
That's exactly what he's trying to stop.
100%. 100%. And legacies are not something that can be bought. They are earned through time, through literally creation. And too many people try to buy a legacy that have the money to do so. And well, I went on a path as a custodian of legacy to make sure that new ones can be birthed and old ones can always continue.
That's true. That is so true.
Danny, let's talk about the graphic novel Waters that you're on with literally one of the best in the world. I don't know if you heard it before you jumped on, but Jim is actually being honored at Comic-Con for the work that he's done. He's won Eisner Awards.
Oh wow,
And
is this Comic-Con coming up in San Diego?
Yeah, the summers.
Okay, we might be there. Because YDB just partnered with Sega.
Oh, cool.
Yes, we working on some stuff with Sega. So,
Well, I
really
would imagine that Sega's gotta set you up with some tickets and stuff like that.
right,
we
Danny,
working on. We just came back from the licensing expo. And then I came back home and I got sick. I must have got sick when I on the plane ride. I think I caught COVID on the plane ride coming back.
Oh no.
But we was at the licensing expo with Sega, and we met a lot of amazing relationships. And shout out to Team Sega. That's our new family.
Yeah.
a
No, yes, that's
100%.
cool.
Another person that I met on this journey, Jonas Barnes, he was involved in the branding of the Sonic movie. Obviously,
Oh,
Sega.
okay. Yes. Jonas,
He
I'm
works.
connected with him on LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's how we connected. I've seen you like some of his stuff. So, I talked to Jonas when I was in New York meeting with Malka to go off and do all this. And Jonas is interested in what we've all created through this as well. He talked to obviously who he works with and Mr. Moritz behind literally one of the biggest franchises ever and always will be, Fast and Furious. And so the branded everything I did was to build this ad agency that we all now own and control together. It's being set up by everybody who's got ownership in what started as Big Picture Collective, but now this is a corporation that will be the biggest ad agency in the world because it's owned by a bunch of artists that are already starring in, well, ads. And that's how everybody gets to make money that comes and gets involved in the nonprofit film studio that basically creates a never-ending revenue to make movies with. So all of this is being done between now and Friday as far as the marketing deck, which I've been working on for 10 months and adding pieces to. So there's a BCC email that's going out to everybody after I get this launched between now and Wednesday. And then the email will go off Friday that both of you will be on. Um,
That's amazing.
a
And I also want to say, James, that's I say it's amazing that
Jim.
Jim. Okay, I see James on that. Sorry, I know it was Jim,
Oh,
but I was like,
no.
let's see James on your name. Your name's on this. It says on the Zoom. Sorry,
Yeah.
but
Both are.
what I wanted to say was congratulations on the Comic-Con. That's amazing. Like I just wanted to make sure I give you your flowers for that. What a legend you are, and that's great to be talking with you. Great to be for us to be potentially working together with you as well. And that's an iconic moment. I
Well,
hope to be there to share with you.
yeah, no. I'm really excited about it, and I've always been so lucky to work with really great people.
That's what it's all about.
That's the key
And that's
to it.
something too. So I've got a phone call after this with David Walmark. He just called me, who produced Life of Pi, who did all this and has been standing on one side of me. Larry Franco on the other. So I asked, oh, hang on one second. What's up, John?
I got to run to the Russian Depot.
That's okay. I'm going to be here until it gets dark. Before you get busy, I want you to film me giving this last speech.
Okay, good, good. I'll be maybe half hour, 45 minutes.
Okay, that's John who owns the drive-in. This is Danny Hamilton and Jim Krueger.
Hey,
You'll meet
nice
them.
to meet you.
Nice talk to you.
Thank you, John. So, oh, you guys remember the last thing I said before he walked up to the door? Sorry.
American, you're talking about your friend David Walmart.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So how could I forget David and Larry? My David and Larry. Our David and Larry. So Larry was the sole producer of They Live. We've obviously all bonded over They Live. Anybody that's a creator really that loved the 80s knows that movie. It was about standing up to corporations. It was basically at the end of a specific presidency. That movie I've loved since a child. I asked Larry if I could pursue making it. Last spring, he got on endless calls with myself, Drew Tolkien, and Phil Powell. We investigated where the IP was actually at. There's one studio corporation that thinks they own it. We discovered that might not be the case. And because there could be a legal battle around the actual ownership of that, I also decided to do all this. So I took Pulp Fiction, I took They Live as the main foundations of what I wanted to be a creator involved in, essentially giving to a new audience, a new generation, and new consumers that buy all of these things. And so I have a call tomorrow with Larry about what we have accomplished and done collectively together. I have a call today with David. I am going to go and get the IP for They Live. I have made so much noise that they can't deny that we are the group that needs to make it. When we get that IP, I'm setting up a Marvel-like writer's room that's going to have Mr. Jim Krueger. It's going to have A-list writers as it relates to studio blockbusters. And that is all going to be overseen by David Womark and Larry Franco, two men that were my mentors that guided me, two men I've never been on one single phone call with, nor in the room at the same time, because that's how I learned the levels of doing all this. And Larry was a producer on the original Jumanji, and he has also worked with The Rock on Jungle Cruise. These two men have only ever made studio movies. The one time David made a non-studio movie, it damn near got nominated for Best Foreign Language Film and was about literally human trafficking in India. These men are my partners. I did all of this with them. We created Big Picture Collective with Larry. We created Big Picture World Group with David. And those individuals, with David sitting at a dinner table with me, helped me raise almost $14 billion. There is no denying not only the star power behind who God wanted to own Paramount, but quite frankly, after all this, we're going to let a public court of opinion made up of artists decide who should be the gatekeepers of legacy. Because I know it's not people trying to buy those gates. So I brought those gates here to where John owns a place that allows me to create a new version of Hollywood. Since I got kept out of one, I brought it back to where I grew up and had those dreams. Because one thing I've come to realize, this is not about Hollywood. People can go anywhere in the world and make movies, and I just proved it and starred in one doing it. So, Jim, you were the last meeting I had in Los Angeles, and I knew I was off to something incredible, especially when I got into what your IP was about wearing a bunch of different faces and heads in order to literally get to an ending. So, since that movie takes place in New Orleans and we are financing it, I would love Danny involved in the producing capacity creation of that. I've been promising him there would be a specific movie that we would find to where we would connect his legacy in some capacity to New Orleans, a place that shaped me and that I'm going out on. I am retired as a film producer, but I have the relationship ecosystem to connect everybody with producers that were bigger than me that are now my producers. And I don't mean mine that I own them. I mean, they chose me to actually level me up to direct films and to tell stories. And so I am putting specific individuals at the tops of each of these ecosystems that have co-CEOs, presidents, and vice presidents. Danny's at the top of the music side of that with Jay Ivy, with Young Dirty Bastard, with other members of the Wu-Tang Clan, and also Rocco Nugent. It's the left and the right connected together. Jim, sir, you oversee literally graphic novels and comics for what all this is, and developing an IP incubator around taking those stories and simultaneously, when we find a book, when we find a comic, a graphic novel, we're going to incubate that IP into multiple business verticals and not just shooting films, but merch, everything. And I have all of the leaders that God led me to, the creator, Allah, wherever anybody's from and what they call it, to oversee the incubation of all of those. David Walmark spent 12 years almost talking to me about creating a self-publishing ecosystem that gives you so much revenue from brand deals and from ads that nobody has to figure out how you finance everything. And then I figured out in my dot connective brain, I do how to structure all of that as two nonprofits connected to an ecosystem of several foundations that already exist. And that's what we've done. So I'm going to literally share that with one journalist, the one who launched us to do this in the first place, and Jeff Schneider. And Jeff Schneider is going to take a deck that's got all the IP holders that own each piece of that IP, and it's a lot. In addition to all of our other business verticals, things that are separate companies that are corporations to create revenue streams behind funding all of this. And this all goes live to the world on June 6th, which is the anniversary of the day when Sydney and I shook hands. Well, we gave each other a hug and we met, and I went off on one journey with her that led to us creating all of this. And it was never about us being married. That was me when I was trying to control life. God put her in my life to build all of this together. And I was still stuck in my own ways. I am firmly out of that now. I have evolved, and I evolved with a lot of amazing creators that created me into who I am. So, Mr. Hamilton, you and I know each other because Sydney connected with YDB, not myself, because she has been part of this just like I have. I met her the night before I went to the meeting, which I was still battling addiction. So I was on cocaine for that meeting at CAA when I put together the first ever cast pieces for this movie. And I was finally led to a place of not only sobriety, but full creation, to where every day now my brain is better than any drug I could ever take. And the only thing I partake in at certain points, if I'm in environments, is cannabis, but I don't smoke it every day. And so I'm finally free on Memorial Day to create a whole new timeline moving forward, led by people that are just as much my partners as they are my mentors. And both of you are that. Anybody who's younger than me is also a mentor, because we all learn from each other. Not one person can do anything, because it's not about one person, because we weren't even chosen to be who we are. And that's been the problem with life. So, Jim, I'm going to see you again, maybe even sooner than Comic Con, but I can't wait to come and celebrate your legacy standing in the same room with you.
Awesome. No, it's totally excited for all the possibilities and opportunities here.
Thank you, man. And we'll talk about
Likewise.
pucks later on. This is not about me. This was about showcasing who two of the men are that led me forward. And Danny, stay on with me a little bit after Mr. Krueger drops off. Jim, do you have anything else we need to touch base on today?
No, but it's like nice to meet you and talk with you. And I was never allowed to listen to any music other than jazz growing up, and it kind of stuck. So all I do, that's like really what I still listen to, is jazz, and it's nostalgic with my dad. But I've been brought into so much music related stuff. Like I was the guy who years ago took Gerard Way into Dark Horse and got My Chemical Romance, the Umbrella Academy deal,
Wow.
doing the Steve Aoki thing with his stuff. And like, I go to his shows and everyone's like, dancing and having such a great time. And I'm kind of backstage going, uh-huh, okay, you know. So it's how much music and how much, cultures and different worlds that even the comics and the storytelling me has gotten me into. So, excited and honored.
Awesome. That's amazing. I was going to add that you said you only listen to jazz. Well, you know, New Orleans is a jazz city, and I
Oh,
have I
I,
have a band out there that I'm connected to that's happened to be one of my family members called the Soul Rebels. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Soul Rebels, but they're a jazz band out in New Orleans. They have played with everyone, including the Wu-Tang and a lot of other amazing artists. So we're gonna have to get them in the movie.
oh,
I
love that.
wanted to add, no, go ahead, Jim.
Oh, I was going to say I always end up at what's the place? Is it on Freeman Street or
Bourbon Street.
the Spotted Cat is where I end up.
Yeah,
Like,
There
I
you
love
go.
Spotted Cat.
you know,
You're on Bourbon Street. There you go.
I was gonna add one last thing, Jim. This will make you excited. David Saunders, who reps Paul Cuscieri, who literally sent me on this Pulp Fiction journey. He reps a writer who wrote a movie called A Wonderful World, which is a biopic on Louis Armstrong, told from the point of view of the women that loved him in his life. And I've got a few of those: my mom, my grandmother, Sydney. And that is a film that we have intended to make since last year that takes place in New Orleans. That I would love to have you involved in the producing side of that. That Danny's already a producer on, as is RZA, and I intend to direct that movie. I just haven't told the world yet. They're hearing this for the first time, as is the writer of it. And I promised that writer that I would get the biggest filmmaker in the world behind it. And once we accomplish all of this, that's what everybody helped me turn into by the time this is done. As I left a message for Taylor John Smith and told him about, because I saw where God was leading me. So that's something that is going to be very special. It's my love letter to not only New Orleans for that city changing my life, but to jazz music as well. And since you grew up in that space, Jim, I would love for you to be involved in that with us.
no, so cool. In fact, jazz and comic books are the only true American art forms.
Yep, facts. Hey,
You
you know what'd
know,
be cool? A Louis Armstrong graphic novel, man. Louis Armstrong comic book. That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Thank you, Mr. Krueger. You're a literal godsend. And I am a call away if you need me. And by the way, you're in the advertising side of this. When you let me know about that, and you already shared with me what you did with a brand that I'll leave nameless on this. Um, just thank you, man. You're an architect of many verticals. So I'm greatly appreciative to have your leadership helping me get through all of this.
no, appreciate you guys. I know you guys are going to stay on, so I'll take off now. Danny, really nice
Legendary. Nice to meet you. Legendary.
to do whatever else we do together. That sounds
Looking
amazing.
forward to it. You're a legend. Looking forward to it.
All right. See you, Will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay on, D. Hello, Mr. Hamilton.
I'm fighting through it, brother. I'm fighting through it, but I'm
Thank you
here.
for battling COVID. You know, a lot of people don't understand that you and I, when we first met, I'm like, oh man, let me connect in all the film relationships I have, and you handle the music. Plus, you're already business partners with the Wu-Tang Clan officially on paper because of a legacy named Barson Jones, aka Young Dirty Bastard. And the whole world didn't believe me at various points. And I don't care. I don't care what anybody in the world thinks. That's why I'm doing all this, because God's the only person controlling me and in control of if people bring chaos or havoc upon my life. And if they do, I'm protected through it. So we can let the world now that you and I said we were going to start a management ecosystem, because I have the greatest manager in the world in Joey Stanton, who doesn't like to rep that many people anymore. But you know who's great at repping people? Danny Hamilton. So you, sir, are literally the head of the Dream It, Create It, Live It management arm that already reps YDB, that also already reps after today when Joey starts working with Rocco Nugent. You guys out there watching this, Danny and I created They Live in Life together, as did YDB. You see, we had a dinner with some young talent that Dirty had met that are up and coming actors. As Jesse Metcalf just texted me, he doesn't understand what I asked him, so I'm going to call him. But basically, at that dinner, we knew what we were going to be able to build. Danny, if you want to talk about this management arm that can change Hollywood history forever and already did. And now Hollywood 2.0 is in Ocala, Florida, where I'm from, and talk about some of the path ahead that we're going to give to the world on artists actually being represented by artists and not corporate bought companies.
I mean, you know, the one thing that we do best is we keep it organic and we keep it real, you know. So for us, we gonna change the game by bringing people together and not controlling anyone. You know, I think right now everyone wants to control someone. You know, for us, we don't want to control anyone. We want to work with people. We want partners. We want this to be like a family. You know, with me and YDB, you know, that's how it is. It's not even a management, it's family, you know. And that's how the approach needs to be. The approach needs to be family like, you know. So working with people who are gonna work hard and understand that it's gonna be a family like environment, and we here for them, you know. We here for them, we here for their careers, and we're not trying to control them. We're just trying to guide them. That's it.
Oh man, bro, well said. Dream it, create it, live it, management artist group, and Dream it, create it, live it, advertising corporate agency are the only places in the world that anybody needs to come to, because we literally are the gatekeepers now of a whole new legacy that just got birthed. Mr. Hamilton, knuckles through the phone since we text him all
Peace.
the time. And thanks for battling the chaos to change the world.
Always.
Appreciate you, man. Our next adventure is They Live. This one was Pulp Fiction. I'll see you real soon.
All right, brother. Peace.
Thank you, D. Peace.
All right.